I had lots of questions for you, but the one most important one I wanted to ask you was, could I give you a hug?
Hug. Okay. But don't kiss. Sometimes you say, some ladies, they also say, lipstick, kissing. Then some you say, some bars. Okay. Thank you.
All right, okay.
We've met.
Thank you.
Well, if you had been from RTE, they would have made you give you one to everyone in the audience. Rona?
Yeah.
Rona Tarrant?
Hi, Your Holiness. It's kind of like Eileen's question, but you said when you were here last time that young people should look to the future with a vision and more seriously, and then I suppose you have this gesture today with all those young children. What do you hope that message will send out to the younger children, particularly about Ireland?
Many different parts of the world, I always telling the younger generation, this morning also I mentioned, the people whose age below 30, 20, 15, these people, I think the lady and you also, I think that it belongs to generation of 21st century. This is my century, my generation century. It's now gone. So this century just beginning. Only over 12 years passed, remaining yet to come. So future still in our hand. Past not in our hand, already had. So therefore, the younger generation must sort of have vision, not your own family or immediate sort of interest, but global level. And then global level, I think eventually, I always was telling, this century should be a century of dialogue. Past century of violence, over 200 millions of people killed. If that amount of sort of violence really brought a better world, happier world, then some people may justify that immense violence, but that's not the case. So therefore, now there's no sort of other way. We must fight, we must stock up. This century should be century of peace. In order to create a century of peace, peace does not mean no longer any problem. Problem remain. So the creation of a peaceful world means whenever we face problem, try to solve that problem through dialogue, through talk. We understand others also have the right to live happily. So even if it's a different opinion or conflict, we have to find both sides try to make effort to bring mutually agreeable solution. That's the practical only way. So therefore, young people, we, perhaps I think you also, I think now time comes, rest and watching those generation of 21st century, whether they really carrying sensible view or not, sensible work or not. That's now our responsibility. Otherwise, we now already retired, so we are watching you. Sometimes I jokingly telling people, young people, I think after 15, 20 years, I no more here, but then I may be in heaven or hell. Or in either way, you see, the end of this 21st century, I think whether be happier humanity or miserable humanity due to your younger the generation of this century who just at the beginning of that century work hard. And whether you see world become that way or is it a destructive or because of a miserable way, you see, we only watch. And so you have the main responsibility. That's why when I meet, you see, people, particularly younger people, I emphasize now, you have the opportunity, you have the sort of ability or opportunity to create a better world. So think more wisely, and work hard. That's very, very important. So that I always tell people. And then perhaps selfish reason. When I meet see young people, and I also feel I'm a little bit younger. When I meet old people, then I also feel I'm an old person.
Well, I better let somebody old in here then. Billy Graham, you have a question.
Oh, my generation now. Yes.
Your Holiness, welcome back to Derry. I hope you're not getting the cold.
No, not in Derry, I like it.
Yeah, I would just like to ask, you've become a world traveller and been to many parts of the world. You've been to Derry twice now. Is it somehow ironic that you're not able to visit your homeland, Tibet, the place of your birth? And how do you deal with this pain, consciously or unconsciously, in not being able to go back? And do you think in this lifetime of yours that you will be able to visit your homeland?
Firstly, I always talk and sort of think on the level of human being. Then second level, I'm thinking and talking on as a believer, Buddhist. The third level, then Tibetan. So that kind of mental attitude really immense help. China, also human being. Chinese also human being. China also, I think, most populated, country. If I just think about Tibet, then maybe more frustration. Now I think the Tibetan case, if we look, Tibet issue locally, really hopeless. One ancient nation with ancient cultural heritage now dying. However, Tibet issue is very much related with development in China proper, or leadership sort of thinking. So now China proper, now today is China. Compare 30, 40 years ago, much changed. Many of my friends, some Tibetan also, they surprised in China proper, much freedom. In Tibet area, much restriction. And then also, you see, last now several years, I met number of Chinese. Now today, the Buddhist population in China, now over 400 millions. So, as a matter of fact, you see, China is the biggest Buddhist population in the world. So therefore, things are changing. The leadership now have to, long run, leadership have to follow the